What's going on, guys? It is Lollybag Mike here with an update on the cut. I was going to do an update on day 150, but a fair bit of stuff has happened since then. So I thought we're on I believe it's day 148 now. So I thought it'd be worth doing an update, seeing as it's probably been about a week since I posted a video last. Currently, as of this morning, sitting at 80.8 kilos. So that's a total drop of nearly 21 kilos since we started in, what was it, late October. So about 4.5 months, 21 kilos. Pretty happy with the progress. So I just got off a call about, what's the time now? Yeah, about an hour and a half ago, with Tom Sergi from Gorilla Platoon. He's the coach, the dude that I initially signed up with when I first kind of got serious about the cut, about tracking the calories and doing all the workouts and things like this. And yeah, he messaged me last night and just said, because I'm getting pretty close to the 10% body fat goal, I think right now I'm probably sitting at 11%, 11% body fat. He just wanted to do a call with me and just get, know a little bit more about me, kind of what propelled me to take the dive into doing this transformation. Just things like that. It was a good call. He's a good bloke. We had a good chat, and yeah, so that was exciting. And I think when I initially started this and I was watching Tom's YouTube videos, I was like, oh, maybe it could get to the point where I might do a call or have some kind of interaction, and it happened. So just goes to show that if you just set goals and eventually just like every day you're working towards it, things do happen, but it takes time. It's not an instant thing. Like, if there's one thing, I've learned a lot of things, but if there's one thing that's kind of very prevalent and it kind of bleeds over into other areas, but it starts with fitness, is that the delayed gratification. So, like, nothing really, especially when it comes to going on a body transformation, something like losing fat. And I'll say losing fat while building muscle, because you can, um, I'll say losing fat as opposed to losing weight, sorry. Because you can lose weight fairly quickly. You know, if you're let's say you're 120 kilos, about 250 pounds, 260 pounds, you could go on a fast and lose, 35 pounds in 30 days, 40 days. I've seen plenty of YouTube videos of people doing this, but the problem with that is it's very instant, and also most of that weight you're losing, it isn't just fat, it's water from all the carbs that you're not consuming, because each carb holds about 3 to 4 grams of water. So every time you're having a carb, you're having an additional 3 to 4 grams of weight. So obviously, when you fast for that first week, your body's losing all the water, it's losing all the glycogen, which is what protects your muscles and kind of forms that casing around them. And people don't know that, and they think, oh, well, I've lost 35 pounds in 40 days, and it's instant. And they go, cool. But then, like, I've seen this dude on YouTube, he lost all this weight, but now, 5 days after the fast, he's reintroduced food, and he's like, oh, I've put on like 20 pounds. And it's like, yeah, because your body's having carbs again. It's retaining the weight. So yeah, that's definitely one thing that you've got to keep in mind, is it's always better to do the slow approach, because if you try to do it too fast, especially if you actually want to, let's say you're sitting at, I don't know, 30% body fat, and you want to go from that to even 15%. If you want to look halfway decent and have some muscle and definition, you can't just fast. Like, you're not getting any nutrients, you're not fueling your workouts everything's going to be poor. Your sleep's going to be like everything. You really need to dial all aspects of your life in if you want to get the result. And to do that takes the ability to deal with delayed gratification. Like you can't get to the point I'm at, which is nearly 10%. You definitely can't get to that point without delaying gratification. But you can't even get to 15%. I'll even say 20% from 30% without some form of delaying gratification. So that is definitely a really important part of losing the weight and being on a cut, is delaying gratification. And when you do that, like I said, it bleeds over into other areas of life. You suddenly start to realize, well, you become more conscious of energy in terms of how you use it, how much you have, how other people use theirs, just everything to do with energy. And then when you become more conscious of energy and how you use it, you then also become conscious of the fact that directing your energy into forms of delayed gratification, for example, like weight loss, or let's say you have a financial goal of saving money, you're delaying gratification, you're taking that money that you could be spending on things you could have now, and you're saving it so that in the future you are in a better position. You're delaying the eventual gratification that you'll get. In a nutshell, that's what it is when you break it down. So when you realize that, and then you become also conscious of your energy and how you're using it, you start to just naturally funnel that energy into things that are actually delaying gratification, and those things tend to bring better rewards. And as you notice that, it forms that like positive feedback loop in your head, and you just naturally start to do it. Like naturally, I'm just starting to do those actions now. But that took about, what are we at now? Nearly 5 months. Like it took a good 4 months, I would say. And I'm still not fully in that. Like if I was to just decide to binge now and for the next 2 weeks, just gain like 5 kilos, like I could do that. The only thing keeping me in this mode is the decisions I'm making. But as you get further into that, and you keep on track with your commitments to yourself and the delayed gratification, and obviously if you're on a cut, you're doing all your meal tracking, and like that is in itself a form of delaying gratification. You're not going out and getting like a bunch of cheeseburgers or all this fast food and feeling like shit the next day, but feeling awesome in the moment. It's quite the opposite. So that's one thing like I've become way more conscious of. And a good example of that, I'll just give a small example, is like, work lately has been very taxing energy-wise for very little return. The amount of energy that I spend there in relation to what I get back from the other people that are on my team, including the managers. I won't say where I work, but if you look far enough back in my videos, you could probably work it out. Anyway, in terms of the managers and the fact, like I said, you become more conscious of how people use their energy, and a lot of them don't use it wisely. And I'm just realizing, like, as not in the nicest way as I can say it, I can do a lot better than where I'm at currently in the job. And when I used to think that, I didn't have any evidence. So it was always like an internal struggle within my brain where it was like, I know this, but where's the evidence? So it would always keep me stuck in the position I was in at work and afraid to say anything. But now I really don't care. And I'm just doing things that are better for me in the long term. I'm realizing that slowly putting my energy more towards personal training, fitness, and art is going to be more beneficial for me in the long term. So I'm not saying I'm going to put all my energy there, because I obviously still need to have consistent, reliable income to pay things like rent and things like this. But it's more of a case of using what I do have extra from what I currently work at, using that extra money to put into savings, again, delaying gratification, and then having that as a base So I'm more comfortable with doing things like putting more energy into personal training. I'm thinking of what I'm going to do is just offer a few free transformations to people and just say, look, I'll give you like a meal plan, I can give you a workout plan, and you can ask me questions and we can do check-ins and whatnot. Just give me a goal, I'll give you calories, and just something simple like that. And then all I'll ask them for is, I'm not going to charge anything, but at the end, when you get to your goal weight or when you've lost what you want, just show me the before and afters. That's all I want. And then when you have that, then you can start building on that. So that's what I want to do. And work was really hectic today. I don't want to say too much, but I'll just say there's people at the workforce that are in a position where they should be doing more and they're not. And I'm picking up all the slack and getting paid half of what they do. So I had one more day this week and I have some personal leave. So I just messaged the manager and I just said, yeah, I'm just not coming in tomorrow, because it feels like lately a lot of stuff's been put on me. I kind of lied a little bit and just said, oh, it's taking a toll on me mentally. Because if you say that stuff, you know, in a workplace, they're pretty like, oh, okay. So yeah, I just need tomorrow off, and then I need the weekend to think, and I'll be back Sunday, and I will. I'm not going to quit, and that's why I took this day, because I didn't want to make a silly decision, like an impulsive decision in the moment. So that is pretty much the move forward with that. So as it comes to the cut, realistically at 80.8, at 11%, I'm anticipating that at about 79.8, we could even say 79.5, I'll be at 10%. And then at that point, I will book in a DEXA scan, probably getting towards the middle of March, maybe towards the end of March. And then we'll see for sure what it is. But I have a feeling it'll be around the 10%. Could be lower, could be higher, but I doubt it's higher. Yeah. So, like I said, a fair few things going on. And, you know, in relation to putting more energy into art and things like that as well, you know, I had a good opportunity recently, might have talked about it on the last update video, with a skateboard company. So there's a skateboard company in New York, and they actually contacted me, I think it was about a week and a half ago, and they just wanted a design done for one of their skateboards. And I'd done work for them previously, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and I very much undercharged for that. So I kind of looked at this like, okay, this is a chance to make amends, to actually charge what I should have charged. You know, I think back when I did it initially, it was 3 skateboard designs, 3 separate ones, and I think I charged them 200 USD in total, which is, if you're an artist, that's crazy. 200 USD would cover a few hours of work, and I think in total that was about probably 25-30 hours. So that's probably less than $10 an hour I was charging. So this time I charged 70 USD an hour, agreed to it, and I've just finished the rough sketch. They'll send through a deposit, and like, for instance, that deposit amount they send me through for probably about 10 hours work, a drawing, something I enjoy doing, I'll make the same amount as I make in like 1 week of working. So that's what I'm saying, like, consciously spending energy in the things that are going to have a bigger payoff just makes sense. And in the sense of delaying gratification, I had to delay a lot of gratification to have the skills to draw, to be able to charge the amount I charge. Because most people don't have the drawing style I do either. That's why I get contacted to do graphics and whatnot, and why people have paid money for my stuff. So obviously there's value in it. So now I'm just acting like it more, and it's working. And it'll continue to work because that's authentically who I am and what the amount that I want to charge. So yeah, that's all going good as well. So everything's going pretty well in general. Just a few things I have to iron out in my personal life, which I will. And it's a lot easier now. Like I said, I have all this extra energy that wasn't there before. So I'm able to use that more effectively. And that's one of the things I'll say to anybody looking to lose weight or transform their body or get in any kind of shape. Like, it's definitely possible. If you're seeing this video and you even want to send me a message and you want a diet plan, workout plan, like, I'm still in my cut, so all this knowledge is fresh in my head. So I'll definitely be able to help you. I mean, you can look at my results that I got in 4.5 months. And if you follow the same thing, you'll get the same results. You know, there's nothing, like, genetically, I might have different inserts where muscles are. But in terms of mindset, there's nothing different from me and you. We're all human at the end of the day. And there's no reason you can't do the same thing I did if you're serious and you want to lock in. So if you are, send me a message on here and I'll help you out 100%. Yeah, because you deserve to feel what it feels like walking around at a much leaner body weight, at a healthier weight, with your mind working better, with your self-respect for yourself at an all-time high. You want to experience what that feels like, trust me. You feel a lot more capable than you've ever felt before. It's not necessarily just about the physique transformation. In fact, that's probably, I'd say, secondary or tertiary to the primary thing of the energy and the just better lifestyle you have, the abundance that you acquire. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for the update today, guys. I will do another one at day 150, which will be in about a day and a half, 2 days. At that point, should be around the 80 kilo mark, probably low 80s. And yeah, just onward and upward from here. So until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out and have a good one.